Let me show you an important maintenance item on your Sellers Manufacturing S-Series boiler. This maintenance task, if not done annually, can cause intermittent pilot flame failures. Let me show you what that item is. So here we have the pilot runners. The pilot runners are the flame that light the main burner nozzles. These pilot runners have hundreds of holes drilled into the top of them that produce tiny little flames from premixed air and fuel. The holes are made with a number 53 drill bit that you're not going to find at your local hardware store. Sellers Manufacturing uses this number 53 drill bit to produce a small pilot flame, so you want to make sure that you're using number 53. Any larger drill bit is going to make the pilot runners have too large of a hole, and the pilot runners will not work correctly. So in order to clean the pilot runners, you have to remove them from the boiler. You'll remove the pilot runners from the top down, and then you'll install the pilot runners from the bottom up. The vertical flashers will tell you immediately if you're installing them the wrong way. If you install them from the top down, you will not be able to install the second row, as the vertical flasher of the second pilot runner needs to go behind the top row pilot runner. Let's take off the top row of the pilot runner, and I'll show you how to clean the holes. You'll need a 7/16 wrench for this. Take your 7/16 wrench and loosen the bottom nut. The top nut you can leave there, as that is for adjusting the height of the pilot runner. You're going to loosen the nut. You don't need to take the nut off all the way. You're going to need to do that on the other side as well. Now that I've removed the two nuts from the pilot runners, we're going to remove the nut from the center of the pilot runners. This nut holds the center of 2 rows of pilot runners. So for every 2 rows, you will have 1 nut. Loosen up the nut, and it's a clamp in the back. Once you have loosened both nuts on either side and the nut holding 2 rows on, you may have to use a hammer. Use a dead blow. You don't want to damage the pilot runners. You'll tap it on either side, and the pilot runner will come out. Now we have removed 1 row of the pilot runner. Let me show you how to clean it. So in order to clean the pilot holes, you'll need a drill and your number 53 drill bit. I recommend chucking up the drill bit far into the drill chuck so that you have less to bend on the thin drill bit, and it's less likely to break. So now we have just enough in order to clean out the pilot holes. Remember, we're just cleaning the holes, we're not drilling new holes. We're going to tighten it, we're going to make sure that the bit is secure, and now we're going to slowly drill out each hole on the pilot runner. So you're going to slowly take your drill and insert the drill bit into each hole. The drill should move cleanly through each hole. Now that I've cleaned all the holes on this pilot runner, I will continue to do that for the rest of the pilot runners. You will need to remove each pilot runner from the boiler, and you can clean them just by holding them in your hand or securing it on a bench. Now that you've cleaned all the pilot runners, you're going to reinstall them from the bottom up. I'm going to reinstall this top runner. Now that I've reinstalled the top pilot runner, let me show you how to align the pilot runner. We'll use this Sellers Manufacturing custom pilot runner tool. This tool will help you align the holes on the top of the pilot runner. You can get this tool from Sellers Manufacturing when you contact your local rep. We can see the holes are not properly adjusted here. The holes are under the burner nozzle. This tool will show us, and we want the holes on the other side of the burner nozzle. So we need to move the pilot runner away from the burner nozzle. Now that I've moved the pilot runner away from the burner nozzle, I'll use this tool, and we can see that the holes are visible on the other side of the tool when pressed up against the burner nozzle. That lets me know that this pilot runner is in the proper position, and I can tighten down the adjustment nut on the side in order to lock it in place. Repeat the same procedure on the other side of the pilot runner. So we're going to press this up against the burner nozzle, and we can see in this case that the pilot holes are visible. Now I'm going to lock down the other side of the nut. Now that I've locked in both sides of the pilot runner, we're going to tighten the center that holds the pilot runners together. Now that that is tight, I know that I've properly installed the pilot runner and it is properly set for the holes in order to efficiently light the burner nozzle. Now that I have cleaned and aligned all the pilot runners, I know that the flame is going to efficiently transfer from the spark rod all the way down to the corner where the pilot flame rod is. This will help prevent intermittent pilot flame failures. I would recommend you do this service at least annually so that all the holes of the pilot runners stay clean and you help to prevent flame failures from the pilot not traveling across the pilot runners. If you have any questions about pilot flame runners or any other maintenance items on your Sellers Manufacturing S-Series boiler, or you need to get one of these Sellers Manufacturing pilot runner alignment tools, you can contact your local Sellers Manufacturing rep. You can find the rep in your local area by going to sellersmfg.com and going to the factory rep tab at the top. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more information about Sellers Manufacturing products.